Hey guys, it's Mr. Mini Painter back again for another tutorial, and today we're painting two more Death Eaters from the Wizarding Duels game by Night Models. Beautiful Harry Potter game, and when finished they are going to look something like this, and we're going to apply some object source lighting, OSL. So to start off, I primed my models with a light gray. You can choose either gray or black, but since we're going to be using some contrast paints, I chose to do it in a light color as it's easier to apply a contrast paint over a bright primer. These are very nice models, some of the Death Eaters. There's been some other ones, and these ones are very nice because you can apply some light effects with these. And to start off with, we're going to give them a Rhinox hide base coat on the larger area of the cloak, the outer cloak. The inner sleeves I left untouched, and we're going to paint them with another color. And the reason I chose this dark brown is that I didn't want to paint them black, as most of these models are entirely black, but I wanted to give them a dark brown robe so that the light would bounce off more nice. So yeah, that's why I did it. I gave this part a brown base coat. I left the top part and the hat untouched, as I'm going to give that a different I left the shoulders untouched and just did the hood and the robes and the shoulder cloth or scarf or whatever it is. I gave that an immediate coat with some Black Legion. So pure Black Legion on the unpainted area, and also covered all the previously painted parts as well. So you get some differentiation in black tones. The bottom parts with the brown base coat will have a nice brown shining through layer, and the other one will be more black. I think it's a nice detail. You can paint them all black if you want, but I like to play around with some extra color in these mainly black models. Now, since the brown is the base coat for the main part of the body, I used the Rhinox hide again when this contrast paint dried to do a very light dry brush layer over the model so that the brown is shining through a little bit more. And since we're going to be adding some light further on in the process, this is a very nice effect to start off with. I use it with both models, and afterwards I painted the torch with Rhinox hide as well. Next we're going for Black Templar. Black Templar is a different contrast paint, a little bit more shining through, and I did the hands, the gloves in this case, the shoes, on both models. Next there is a little bit of face showing, basically just a chin, and I painted that with some Bugman's Glow. I did not really highlight it because the mask is covering most of the face, so I wanted it to be shaded, so I left it with that. The wand, I chose Corvus Black because it's yet another black tone, a bit more bluish, which gives it a more magical look, so to speak. Now we're going to start highlighting the robes, and for that I used Tau Light Ochre, a yellowy brown tone, to highlight the parts of the cloak that would be touched by the light. So I use it as a highlight overall, but in a stronger appearance on the part where the light would shine if it were really a torch. So you can see the effect here. And next I used Karak stone on the mask. The mask is kind of a bony mask, and so this is the base coat. I used it, and afterwards I highlighted that with some Reichland Flash Shade, or you can use some Agrax Earth Shade if you want. Both models have these masks showing. Make sure to be careful around the eyes because there are going to be some details afterwards. Next, I dry brushed some Mornfang Brown on the torch because there's some grain effects on the torch itself. It gives a nice look when using a dry brush. You can see the wood grain. And next, I took Abaddon Black in the mask to paint in the eyes, and then placed a Palette Witch Flash white dot on either side of the eye, so you get the effect of a black pupil in the middle. This is quite tricky as always, so you might want to start with this before doing the mask maybe. That's up to you. Now going back to the one with the torch, we're going to base coat it with Iyanden Yellow, which is a very nice contrast paint showing some yellow and orange tones. And when still wet, I added some Flesh Terror's Red or any other dark red you have, also a contrast paint to flow them together and make it look like a nice flame. You can top it off with some black tips if you want, to create a smoke effect. I wanted mine to be red and fiery. Next I used Jokero Orange on the robes, which in addition to the browns we have used before, gives a really nice glow effect. Now in his other hand he is holding a wand, and I wanted to have a glow effect, so for that I used Mood Green, which is a very nice bright green color. And I touched the edges of his sleeve and the areas around it as well. And I used a dry brush to get this glow effect on the surrounding areas. So you can see over here I touched part of his left knee, his arm, the sleeve of his robe, and give it a nice green glow. Afterwards, to make it a little bit more spooky and magical, I used Kabbalite Green, which is more of a bluish green and gives a nice eerie glow effect to accentuate that a little bit more, and I focused on the surrounding areas. For the other model I used Celestra Grey on the robes to highlight it and give it a white look, and afterwards I used Frostheart to get this nice blue glow. Frostheart is a contrast paint, but you can use any kind of bright blue if you want, and get this nice look. Make sure that your light source is always lighter than the shade you cast, so the magical orb or flame or whatever it is he's holding is brighter than the color shades he's casting. It's casting. You get this nice look, and you see the finalized effect over here. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It gives a nice extra something to your models. Otherwise they're just black, and this way they look very, very cool. So thank you so much for watching again, and I hope you enjoyed this video and had some tips or tricks on how to paint some object source lighting. So yeah, thank you so much for watching again, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. If you like this kind of videos, please consider subscribing to my channel, and see you next time. Bye bye!